Hey, good evening, everybody. And this is Purple Power Live for the first time alive on both YouTube and also on Instagram. So I have you live in two places, but for initially, I'll be seeing your comments on the YouTube channel. But thank you for the Instagram viewers tuning in as well. If I have the opportunity to answer your questions on Instagram, I'll do this as well. See how I can pull this off. I see Antonia in the room, and there's Mary, there's Miss Ashley. Well, hello, how are you? And let's see who's over in Instagram. I see Shark, and I see official as well. And there's Penny, and there's Larry Maui, and there's Lana, and there's Keith, and there's Son, and there's Harold, and there's Ron, and there's Ellis. And there's David Ortiz, an official, and Jennifer. Oh wow, there's really swarming in here. Jackie, and there's Melinda and Tori, and Anne as well. And there's Rayan, and then Anna, and then Shannon, and Denny. Well, there's Jenny Johnson, and there's John, and Joni, and Aaron, and Cody, and Dream Weaver. And there's Lorena, and Sharon, and Jessica. Well, hello. And there's a lot of people in the people filling in the Instagram room as well. There's Miss Mista, and there's Sean, and there's Dante. It's very interesting to be live in two different places at the same time. One of you is going to get a good angle, and the other one's going to get a bad angle. So I did make a mistake today. I'm allowed to make one mistake in stimulus coverage throughout the day. When I was talking about the stopgap, which was the false narrative that there was already an agreement to extend the deadline for the CR December 11th using an instrument called a stopgap. I said, I love the Gap, but I'm wearing Guess. Ironically, the shirt I'm wearing is Gap. So I am wearing Gap. So a lot of people were asking me earlier on being a Mitch, what's your shirt by? No, it's actually a Gap shirt. And I was discussing the Gap. If you're joining me tonight and you're not quite sure what a stopgap is, it's just another darn word that no one needs to keep track of. In this recording, we'll be going over state stimulus, and which now isn't expanding. It's now stimulus checks, it's now rent stimulus, food stimulus, and utility stimulus. And this is all really exciting. And ultimately, when my answer is I don't know, my answer could be I do know tomorrow or Monday, because things that weren't there on Friday are being announced on Monday. For example, New York is announcing a big thing on Monday. Georgia announced several counties on Friday. And so things are just changing very, very quickly. So let's start it with some questions. Why don't we get right into it with some questions you may have about State CARES Act 1 stimulus, your city, your county, any questions you have. Wish Indiana would send stimulus checks out. A lot of people wish their state would send out stimulus checks. Absolutely. That's very, very needed for many people. Gulfport, Mississippi, beautiful city. I know your city quite well. Thank you for the compliment about the jacket. Any grants in Colorado? So Colorado, you're getting 375 of a stimulus check. Hello from Mexico. Wow. Hola de Mexico. Wow. ¿Dónde está Mexico? ¿Qué ciudad de Mexico? So this is looking up. It is looking up. States are really stepping up and setting out stimulus. And if you missed check, which is in the pinned comment, please watch check after this video, because I go over there's now four types of stimulus states are doing, and it's really quite incredible. Florida county by county go down each county, and they really have had these incredible rent grounds in these Florida counties, and some of them are expiring. I've heard that Broward County has expired, and I heard that Miami-Dade is about to expire. Oregon, yes, Eugene, a viewer, got enormous rent grants in Oregon. Is Georgia sending out stimulus? Georgia's doing rent stimulus at the moment. Massachusetts, yes. Tyrone got $14,000 in rent stimulus in Massachusetts. Mississippi, yes. Someone got a massive rent stimulus in Mississippi. I apologize because between Mississippi and Kentucky, I cannot remember if RISE, RISE, which state it did the rent stimulus in. So I'm forever going to forget which one it is. New York State is doing everything. New York City and New York State both will have rent grants as of Monday. In New York City, the rent grant we now know is NHA, and you use the thing called One Stop. If you watched Evening's Check tonight and another video, I can't remember which one it was, I ended the video with a message about a wonderful viewer who was about to be homeless. And one of the volunteers who's actually in the room got this viewer a grant after I heard it from another viewer. It's called the One Stop Grant in New York City from the New York Housing Authority. And to go get it, $5,000, and it kept that person on the brink of homelessness by keeping them in their home. um, Stimulus in Lake County, Ohio. In Ohio, we actually have one volunteer who's specifically doing Ohio. And there's a lot of people filling up in the Instagram room as well. My benefit year is ending, but I have weeks left. Well, I get extra weeks. So the CR is proposed to give you additional weeks of unemployment on both the UI and the PUA side. Has anyone had any luck in Maine? I haven't heard anything about Maine yet. That's not a bad or a negative thing. I just haven't seen anything yet. Love your colors today. Do you mean the shirt or the background? Someone else said that they like the background. Thank you. I've got some new stuff to put in the background. Couldn't find anything in Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania is one of those working out of the box situations. Someone got rent from a private charity in Pennsylvania, a religious charity, and it was a lot of money. Maryland, someone got money from the government in Maryland for rent. The shirt, well, thank you. It's Gap, and you can see it a little bit better on Instagram. Um, can't find any rent in Long Beach. Can you help? Long Beach, I don't think has rent. Long Beach has utilities and has business grants for the bars, which has been hysterical. Anything in Delaware? Haven't heard anything about Delaware. New Jersey, yes. A lot of viewers have gotten big rent grants in New Jersey. Any stimulus in Los Angeles County for people on SSI or for rent or food? In Los Angeles, there is food, lots and lots of free food stimulus, and there's Edith and Cartagena, Colombia, and in Los Angeles, utilities. Call up the utility company. They're open tomorrow. They're open tonight. Call them up, ask for utility assistance, and it's very, very simple. What can people on SSI/DI get in Kentucky? You can get rent and you can get utilities. You call up, I believe, I can't remember which private charity it was. The volunteers know. It was either Rise or the other one. I can't remember which one it was. New Jersey, call 211 for help, says Rita. Oh, good. Mary Jane, Douglas, Tennessee. Yes, some viewers have gotten stuff in Tennessee. For Kentucky, can't find any information or phone number for the Rise Foundation. Reach out to the volunteers. I can't remember if Rise was Louisiana, Mississippi, or Kentucky. It was either Mississippi or Kentucky. I can't remember which one used what, but I know Kentucky had a private charity, and so did Mississippi. Amber is amazing. She found me a rent grant, says Eric Sauser. Oh, so Eric found a rent grant in Florida with one of the volunteers. Wonderful. Eric's been a longtime viewer of this channel. LALATE, what do you do for fun? I like to go to the beach. I usually like to go out and drink, but that's not an option at the moment. Can't find any resources in Michigan. Reach out to the volunteers if you're having problems in Michigan. 211 in Indiana gets you in contact with local places for rent. So someone just said Indiana 211 is very helpful. So it's a very helpful group tonight in the room. A lot of people sharing a lot of information. So if you've had success stories, tell us where your success stories are. Las Vegas Clark County services are behind, so it takes time to get up to your application for rent and utilities. Yes, so I know Clark County in Las Vegas is doing rent, but the viewer just said that Clark County is behind. They're sort of slow. Wisconsin, you should have in Wisconsin. I don't know about anything in Wisconsin specifically. After I send my taxes to unemployment for escalated benefits, I see them back. What do I say? So you need to call them and you need to speak to them. Remember, don't refer to it as escalated benefits. Refer to it as just more benefits. And if you have questions, if you're sort of confused on which show does what now, Holidays LA, which is the midday show, is more about stimulus check. Being a Mitch is about unemployment, everything about unemployment, and this one's more about CARES Act 1 stimulus, state stimulus, rent, utilities. I can't find anything in Kansas. Wow. So reach out to the one of the volunteers. If you have not been able to find a volunteer, go to youtube.com/, Community Action Agency Kentucky, says Teresa. So Teresa, what did you find from Community Action Agency in Kentucky? Go to youtube.com/LA/community. What was helpful with Community Action Kentucky? Hence, someone said something about Michigan just then. Someone had some really good information about Michigan. Mary Jane, I'm just crying. Why are you crying, Mary Jane? What are you crying about? Tell me what you need assistance on. Community action by only utilities, heating only. Andrea. So Andrea says community action help for utilities. Now you can also call your utility company directly. San Diego, yeah, San Diego has a rent grant now. San Diego County has a rent grant now. So they passing a stimulus check for us. That is among the battlegrounds you're going to see on Monday and Tuesday. There's also some questions in the Instagram room. If you're watching on Instagram, but you want to ask a question, drop your question on the YouTube channel, which is going live currently, because the Instagram screen's a little small, so I can't really see the words on the Instagram screen, but the YouTube screen is quite large. Um, are they passing the checks? They haven't even come to a bill yet. They have a very tight frame to get this done. I tried community action. They said I had made too much money. Hmm. Well, utility companies are the ones you should be contacting directly. Pennsylvania governor still closed down on rental assistance. Yeah, so Brian, that's the confusing one. In Pennsylvania, the official one is closed, and we've known that for a very long time. But private organizations in Pennsylvania are paying rent. So I've had a lot of viewers in Pennsylvania get rent, even though you can go right on Pennsylvania's website, it says it's closed. So you got to reach out to the privates, and if you don't know who they are, reach out to the volunteers. One thing I want to make very clear to you, I think you sort of know this, but I got a message from someone about 5 minutes before going on camera. Said I found a site, and the site said I pay them $100 and they'll apply for rent grants for me. I'm like, what are you doing? Nothing on this channel talks about you paying to get information. You should not be paying anyone for information. And then the person sort of defended that service. I'm like, well, that has nothing to do with what we're doing here. And then the person said something which I discussed on another recording, but I want to say it again. The person said, well, can you just send me the link for all the applications across every single city in the country? I'm like, there is no such thing. What's important to understand is that a lot of these things are in cities and counties where they don't have the money to write a computer website for you to apply. That some things are done the old-fashioned way: telephone, fax, dropping off an application. And so it's important to understand that a lot of these cities and towns aren't doing everything with an online application. You may see something announced on a website, but you may not be able to actually physically apply on a website. Richmond, Virginia. Virginia, a lot of residents have gotten massive rent grants. New York, if you're just joining me, New York is going live with a big rent grant on Monday. And New York City already has one in NHA One Stop. Independent contractor for a nanny? Yes, absolutely. If you declare the income on your 2019 Schedule C, United Way will help you in Pennsylvania. So Brian just said United Way is excellent in Pennsylvania. Alabama State Housing Authority, and I think it's the Urban League in Alabama. Try calling One Stop instead. The viewer just said One Stop in New York City. Absolutely. Uh, Community Action never answered about my income. Did they say anything about California? Well, California, you have utility grants across the board. Very few city or state city or state rent grants yet. Virginia has funds. Is money sent to you or directly to the landlord? That just depends. Sometimes it goes right to the landlord, sometimes it doesn't. Danny from Kentucky. Hello from Kentucky. I live in HUD Hyacinth. I wonder if I can get rent assistance or I'll call Monday. I know in Butler County. So absolutely, you call your county and you also call your utility company. Always take utilities into consideration. Did you say Biden was going to Georgia? No, I said Trump is going to Georgia, or he was in Georgia today. Trump is going to Georgia. I expect Biden to campaign in Georgia as well. Absolutely. My mom says hi. Hello, Mom. San Bernardino County has a rent grant, but you have to be behind in it in order to get it. Oh, that's good to know because a viewer was asking about San Bernardino County earlier. Unemployment is telling people they are being overpaid. Ultimately, I don't care what false narrative unemployment is telling people. I had unemployment officers in Texas tell viewers that the maximum unemployment per week is $100 a week. You know, ultimately, there's a bad call center operator in every single phone system or state that you call, and it's irrelevant for you to repeat wrong information. I mean, what's the purpose of repeating wrong information? Anything available in Northeast Texas, I can help with rent and utilities. So you may want to help look David Hawley. You may also want to consider Catholic Charities. They were giving rent grants in Houston. They're out of them now, but they also may do it next. Does Los Angeles have rent assistance? It did, Catalina, but it's closed now. So you may want to consider utilities in California. How long do you have to work to get to have PUA, FPUC? Is the question just asked. So there is no, you just have to have worked in 2019, and then you have to file an application for either UI or PUA and be approved, and then you go right on to FPUC. It's as simple as that. Is the states doing the stimulus checks for Wisconsin? Don't know yet. Live in Montana in foreclosure. What can I do to help? Um, if you have a mortgage that's written by Freddie or Franny, Freddie or Franny, Freddie, it's one of those days. Fannie or Freddie, it is now extended to late January. Now it's a private mortgage. I don't know. I really don't know. Philadelphia is doing stimulus checks. Oh, Land just said Philadelphia is doing stimulus checks. Breaking news. Land just said Philadelphia is doing stimulus checks. I think that was an affirmative statement, not a question. Someone just said something about Las Vegas and mortgages. Is cola passing more money since? So yeah, cola is bad, and Biden wants to use a new benchmark for SSI other than cola because cola just stays flat. Hello from Northwest Tennessee. Philadelphia Freedom. There we go. Governor Welp, we need help. Is the states doing unemployment? Oh, now there's a lot of questions coming in. My mom with unemployment in Oregon. Um, I can't do. I don't do unemployment specifically, just the applying. But if she has questions about the PUA application, I've done 1,000 PUA videos on this channel on how to apply for PUA if that's what she's doing. How about buying me dinner at the French Laundry? I hate the name of that place, French Laundry. It just smells like dirty old clothes every time I hear it. It's like, you want to get your friend, want to go get some French Laundry? I'm like, no, it smells. Why would I have food at French Laundry? Just horrible name. How am I doing? I've had really bad pain today on the side of my face, so hopefully I'll be better tomorrow. Um, we're no, we're only at like 673. We were at 2,000 on holidays. LA was absolutely on fire today. Absolutely on fire. Do you have any information for Seattle, Washington? I don't, but one of the volunteers is from Washington. Actually, I think two are. Home Saver Did someone say Home Saver is good for Gulfport, Mississippi? What is the amount of stimulus? $1,200 is what they're talking about for the federal stimulus. Do I get a grant for rent assistance in Coachella County, California? I don't know. That's a smaller county, so I really don't know at the moment, but you certainly would consider it utilities. West Virginia, someone just asked about West Virginia. A viewer got massive money for West Virginia for rent. Absolutely. Louisiana State Housing Authority. Springfield, Mass. A viewer got 14,000. Massachusetts, Tyrone. I don't know about Springfield specifically. Oh, the volunteers are they're wonderful. What about Tulsa, Oklahoma? I don't know anything about specifically about Tulsa, but it should have it. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania has $4 million they intend to use as a stimulus package. Oh, so someone just said that Philadelphia intends to spend $4 million on stimulus. So there you go. What about Los Angeles rent? Not currently. But what I want you to understand is what about San Diego? San Diego's live. San Diego, go get the rent. Always so surprised how many people do not know about the rent program in San Diego. New York City has rent starting on Monday. Actually, New York City has rent now. New York State has it on Monday. I'm always so surprised that people don't know about these things in their cities when they're there. That's what's really surprising. Missouri, in Missouri, rent in St. Louis County, and the rest are utilities across the state. Gulfport, Mississippi is helping Home Saver. What is Home Saver? Is Home Saver a program? Is Home Saver doing the rent? What is Home Saver? Um, for Arizona, call Leaf. Is Leaf your utility company? I assume it's your utility company. It sounds like a utility company. So Arizona, someone said call Leaf. Anything in Indiana, says the Strew. What about Virginia? Yes, someone has gotten money in Virginia. Some of these things on Instagram I can't see because it's still a very small camera. Uh, Michigan Salvation Army. Michigan Salvation Army is helping with rent. If you heard that, Michigan Salvation Army is helping with rent. Thank you for the nice comment, April. Who have I got to make up to get an SBA grant? There is no SBA grant. There's an SBA loan. Pennsylvania 375. Can my son apply for rent if he still lives at home? No, of course not. Unless he's paid you, Red. Bowling Green, Kentucky. So we just had something about Kentucky a second ago. Stimulus check for New York City? No, I never would see a stimulus check for New York City. But, Leaf is for rent. Arizona Leaf is for rent. Wow. So Leaf is for rent. I guess it was in Arizona. I thought that was utilities. I don't ever see a stimulus check in New York, but stimulus, a rent stimulus in New York, yes, going live. Home Saver program in Mississippi for rent. Okay, so Home Saver program for Mississippi rent. If there are volunteers in the room that are watching, Home Saver for Mississippi rent. There we go. We learned something really helpful tonight. Thank you for that viewer, and thank you for the viewer for Leaf for Arizona, and then Salvation Army for Michigan. Wow, we've had a really great rent and utilities. Leaf is good for rent and utilities in Arizona. So Leaf in Arizona, Salvation Army in Michigan, and Mississippi was what was that thing called? Mississippi. I can't remember. What was the name of Mississippi? This is where I'm trying to remember things on air while watching it unfold. Uh, Home Savers. It sounds like a coupon thing you get in the mail. Home Savers. There you go. So we're getting great stuff. Really, really helpful viewers. Where in San Diego do you look for help? I mean, when you're hearing something you don't know where it is, go to your local news site, your local NBC, your local CBS, and they'll have hundreds of articles about these things. They'll have an article and have a link. So absolutely. Will I get an increase in veterans benefits and SSI? Absolutely. Under Joe Biden's plan, you'll get a lifetime upgrade, move up, and then you'll get a an annual benchmark up. Show us your Christmas tree. Yes. So I taped footage of buying the Christmas tree, um, getting it carted off, bringing it to the set, and it's now up, but there's nothing on it. And because Holidays LA has been live the last 5 days, I haven't done a taped recording of it. So you will see the Christmas tree on Holidays LA. Absolutely. The LA Christmas tree. Anything for essential workers in Minnesota? Don't know. New Leaf is for rent and utilities. There you go. Indiana is helping for rent. Oh, wow. So Indiana is helping for rent. Missouri, have any unemployment or benefits grants? I don't know the question. Mercy Housing Assistance in Mississippi. Mercy Housing for Assistance in Mississippi. Okay, now we got two in Mississippi. Wow. This is a really great group tonight. Learning a little bit about everything. Is there anybody that's paying attention on here that could tell me anything about Missouri? Was it Missouri? Missouri, it's utilities, but St. Louis, it's rent. Will the PUC get the $300 boost, LA? Well, PUC is not the boost. FPUC is the boost. I don't think it's going to get passed. I don't think that I don't think it should get passed. I think it's going to get taken care of in January, which is what Joe Biden said he's going to do for you. And it's going to be, he said it's going to be 600. I thought the 375 in Georgia, Colorado was from everybody. It was only for unemployment. I think, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me. I think it was the New Mexico that was only for unemployment. IndianaHousingNow.org. Wow. So IndianaHousing.org. Wow. So we have some really, really wonderfully helpful people in the room right now that are telling us about Arizona, Mississippi, Michigan, Indiana. This is one of the most helpful recordings ever for Purple Power Live. This is just incredible. Yeah, these guys in here, just guys and gals, have just been incredible. Southern Indiana, try Hoosier Uplands. My Lord. Southern Indiana, someone said use Hoosier Uplands for something else. Wow. Salvation Army, Tennessee also. Any volunteers from Louisiana? I live in Canada. So you don't need a volunteer in the city or county or state. They do nationally. Anything in Houston, Texas. Houston, you're getting stimulus. You're getting stimulus from your county. Um, any grants in Louisiana? Um, yes, State Housing Authority. Ohio's cutting the PUA. Well, PUA is ending everywhere. Do you think that Georgia will win the two Democrat votes? I don't. I've not been following the races, so I know nothing of. I saw the four candidates for like a split second one day. That's all I could. I saw the woman with her um, country western outfit on. I was just like, is this Georgia? Community Action Agency in Gulfport, Mississippi. Anything for Arizona? Yes. Viewer just said Arizona, you use Leaf for utilities and rent. There goes my memorization. Anything for Illinois? Someone got something for Illinois. Eagles Help with rent in Kentucky. What is Eagles Help? Is that the name of the organization? Is Eagles Help the name of the organization? Any grants from Michigan? So someone just explained in Michigan. Oh boy, which one was the Michigan? Michigan has a rent grant. I can't remember which one that was, but it was absolutely incredible. Colorado 375, you're getting a stimulus check. Restaurant workers in Los Angeles call 211 for the info. It's actually there's an online application for it for the restaurants. Um, Michigan was Home Savers. No, that was Louisiana. That was Mississippi. Mississippi was Home Savers. I can't remember. Was maybe it was Salvation Army was Michigan. I can't remember this. We're learning so many things so quickly tonight. I didn't know Eagles help with rent. Michigan Salvation Army. Okay, viewer said Michigan Salvation Army. So there you go. In Georgia, United Way in some small towns. Good. Salvation Army in Mississippi as well. Oh, wow. So Salvation Army is really stepping up. EIDL, good sign, fourth time for Eric. Congratulations. Keep on pushing, Eric. HUD did have rent money. I looked up what the governor of Mississippi is doing for the leftover money. It's all about schools and hospitals. Um, I wouldn't. Well, first of all, you don't have to worry about Mississippi. We had five people tell you where to go get the money in Mississippi. Home Savers was one of them, and then I think we just heard Salvation Army. So who cares what the governor says in Mississippi? We now have three viewers telling you where to get the money in Mississippi. That's sort of an example of how things move very quickly with this channel. So the viewer just said, I read what the governor said about Mississippi. We don't have anything. There's no nothing. There's no nothing. But three other viewers said, LALATE, I told you, you always tell me to just ignore nothing and focus on positive. And one viewer said Home Savers from Mississippi. Another viewer said Salvation Army from Mississippi. So that's an example of how you get money in a different way. Well, everyone get unemployment benefits, get the $300. Well, there is no the $300, and I don't think it's going to even happen. What about Georgia? So Georgia, you're getting all these counties coming forward, and LHEAP is helping for utilities in California. In Georgia, you have all these counties. Thank you, D Gamers, for the super chat. In Georgia, you have all these counties that are doing stimulus rent, DeKalb, Gwinnett, and then the city of Atlanta, and this is all brand new, and I would expect more of them. LHEAP in Indiana as well. LI Heap. So LI Heap, Salvation Army apparently is helping, and United Way. LI Heap, Salvation Army, and United Way, and a lot of LI Heap in Pennsylvania as well. Wow. So is it LI Heap? Yeah, LI Heap, Salvation Army, and United Way in a lot of states is LIHEAP. Wait, now it's LIHEAP. And Catholic Charities in other places as well. So LIHEAP, United Way, Salvation Army, Catholic Charities, Political Action Group, Community Action Group, doing rent grants in a lot of places. So there you go. If you're tuning in and you're at the 32-minute mark and you've looked and you can't find anything, then now consider LIHEAP, United Way, Children's Catholic Charities, and Salvation Army. My first past day is coming up on Friday, a partial payment check. Anything from Michigan? Yeah, so we just heard from Michigan rent grants from Salvation Army. If you joined this recording late tonight and missed the details, what I encourage you to do is after this recording's over, you can replay it. And when you replay it, you will see that we covered tonight Arizona, Michigan, Mississippi, and Alabama. And we covered places that we had never heard was paying money. And it's just absolutely incredible. This was an incredible recording where we heard a lot of stuff for a lot of states that we had never heard of before. And so thank you for the viewers who really volunteered the information. I may probably replay it as well, and I'm going to tell the volunteers to watch this video especially because there was a lot of stuff in here. Grants for landlords in New York City. I don't know. That's a really good question. Anything from Missouri, utilities, and in St. Louis, the county rent. Meantime, if you did not watch watch check on the pinned comment below or over in the super chat right after this recording is over. And join me tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the continuation of Early Mornings LALATE. Thank you for joining me for a great night. Thank you for the nice comments as well. And if you missed this recording from the beginning, replay it back and you can catch all those locations where grants were announced by other viewers. Thank you for the viewers for volunteering all this great information for tonight. Remember, Holidays LA Midday when I go live is more about the check. And then Mitch is about all your unemployment questions. And this one's about CARES Act 1. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay of LA for more.